The top 9 events that could trigger World War III. China attacks a United States ally. An attack by China on a U.S. ally could incite widespread international turmoil. This could prompt other nations bound by alliances or strategic interests to take sides. The risk of a broader conflict emerges as nations align with either China or the U.S., triggering a regional or even global confrontation. Escalating tensions and military actions could lead to a chain reaction, drawing more countries into the conflict and intensifying the gravity of the situation, ultimately leading to a world war scenario. North Korea invades South Korea. A North Korean invasion of South Korea would instantly trigger a regional crisis. The already tense Korean peninsula would erupt into a full-scale conflict, threatening stability in East Asia. South Korea, supported by its allies, including the United States, would mount a fierce defense, escalating tensions on the peninsula and beyond. The situation's gravity might prompt international intervention, leading to heightened geopolitical rivalries. Any military confrontation could result in devastating human and economic costs, sparking fears of a global war. A meteor impact mistaken for a nuclear bomb. A meteor impact mistaken for a nuclear detonation could incite panic and trigger a global crisis. Initial confusion and misinterpretation could lead to rapid military responses and escalations between nuclear powers. The misidentification might prompt immediate retaliation, believing it to be a deliberate attack. Heightened tensions could spiral into a nuclear exchange, assuming it's a prelude to a larger-scale attack. The ensuing chaos might prompt worldwide fear, mass evacuations, and disruptions in global security. A rogue nuclear explosion blamed on Russia. A rogue nuclear incident falsely attributed to Russia holds the potential to spark a global conflict. Such an event could provoke immediate and severe responses from affected nations. The accusations alone might prompt other nuclear powers to take defensive measures, escalating tensions and spurring military mobilizations. The danger of misinterpretation and rapid retaliatory actions heightens the risk of a spiraling conflict. The absence of diplomatic resolutions could lead to hasty decisions, triggering a dangerous chain of events, potentially engulfing multiple nations in a catastrophic global war. An attack on the Vatican City. Assaults on the Vatican City, the spiritual and administrative center of the Catholic Church, possess an incendiary potential to escalate into a world war. An attack on such a deeply revered religious and cultural symbol could trigger widespread outrage and provoke retaliation from nations aligned with the Catholic faith. The global condemnation and demands for justice could quickly spiral into conflict, drawing in nations supportive of the Vatican and those seeking to exploit the chaos for their strategic gain. Iran attacks Israel with nuclear power. An Iranian nuclear strike on Israel would unleash a cataclysmic chain of events. Such an attack could immediately thrust the entire Middle East and the world into chaos. The region's delicate geopolitical balance would rupture, sparking retaliatory strikes and inviting widespread condemnation and military intervention. Israel will respond, drawing support from global allies. This scenario could spiral into a full-scale regional conflict, igniting tensions between other nations and alliances. An attack on the Dome of the Rock. Assaults targeting the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, a revered site for Muslims, Christians, and Jews, possess a harrowing potential to ignite a global conflict. The city's profound spiritual significance makes any attack a flashpoint for escalating tensions. Nations could rally in defense of their religious and geopolitical interests, magnifying the risk of a broader war. With historical, religious, and political ties to Jerusalem, various nations might intervene, aligning with allies or religious affiliations. Russia attacks the United States. In a nightmarish hypothetical, a Russian nuclear strike against the United States would ignite an unimaginable global catastrophe. This act of aggression would set off widespread devastation, unprecedented casualties, and unparalleled chaos. Immediate responses would include an outcry, emergency diplomatic efforts, and rapid support from allied nations. Retaliatory measures or the risk of escalating into a full-scale nuclear conflict would loom large, escalating tensions to an unprecedented level. Attacks on Al-Kaaba in Saudi Arabia. The sanctity of Al-Kaaba, Islam's holiest site in Mecca, makes any attack against it a seismic event. If Muslims were to perceive Israel as responsible, the repercussions would be staggering. Such an accusation could instantly inflame tensions across the Muslim world, sparking outrage, protests, and demands for retribution. The religious significance combined with political implications might prompt military responses or alliances among Muslim-majority nations, potentially leading to a wider conflict. Such an escalation could rapidly draw in global powers and alliances, heightening the risk of a catastrophic worldwide conflict, making resolution an intricate challenge.